Hello, I'm Warren Martin, and this is Mo Monday, where it's all about getting Big Mo on your side to start out your work week, getting the motivation you need today to be who you were created to be all week long. Let me start by asking you a question today. What obstacles do you face today? What obstacles are there in your life that you need to climb and overcome today? Do you realize that your attitude determines the outcome of facing those obstacles? No matter what they are, your attitude will determine the outcome. If your obstacles are something that's in the past, then your attitude will determine whether you become bitter or better because of those obstacles. If your obstacles are in the present, then your attitude will determine whether those obstacles present an opportunity or oppression. And if your obstacles are in your future, then your attitude will determine whether those obstacles are able to produce dreams or simply dread. But your attitude will determine the outcome of you facing those obstacles. And do you realize that one of the biggest mistakes that people make is they try and face the obstacles that are in their life in private? They try and overcome those obstacles privately where no one can see. And that's a huge mistake, according to me. I think that is one of the biggest mistakes that you can make. And the reason is because it's way too easy to quit when you're facing those obstacles in private. I mean, who else is going to see? It's just way too easy to quit. Let me give you an example of this. My wife and I had a wonderful opportunity to go on an Alaskan cruise several years ago. And one of the stops was at Ketchikan. And when we stopped at Ketchikan, we got to go watch the Lumberjack show. And right outside of the show, they had this, I don't know, it's probably 75 to 100 foot pole stuck in the ground. And they would allow you to put on the lumberjack spikes and grab the belt and wrap that belt around the pole and try and climb that pole. Well, I'm a pretty adventurous guy, so I went out there, I wrapped the rope around it, I put on the spikes, and I started climbing that thing. And I climbed, and I climbed, and I climbed, and I climbed, and I wasn't even halfway yet. And so I climbed some more and climbed some more. Finally, I got up about 2/3 of the way to the top of the pole, and I was flat wore out. I mean, I was completely exhausted. And so I kind of hung out there for a second, and I looked down at my wife, and I mean, it's just me and her. Who's going to know? I looked down at my wife, and I said, I don't think I can do this. Well, about that time, there was this man who was walking by, and he was a black man. And that's important because I've spoken as a minister. I've preached in white churches, black churches, Hispanic churches. And let me tell you, black churches have a whole different intensity level than any other church. And this guy right here, he brought the black church intensity. And he came up and he saw me and he heard me say that I was going to quit. And he yelled up at that pole, "You can't quit! Get up that pole! Come on, man! Get up that pole! You can do it!" And he started grabbing people around him and getting them around him and starting to clap for me. And you know what I did? I got up the pole. It didn't matter how tired I was. It didn't matter how wore out I was. There's all these people now that were down there cheering. I wasn't about to quit with all of them down there cheering. And I climbed all the way to the top of the pole. I rang the bell. And when I got back down the pole, not a single one of them was there. The guy had left. Everybody else had left. But I'll tell you what, that guy changed my life that day. He changed my life because he showed me the power of a perfect stranger being able to pour their life for just a moment into someone else's life to help them overcome an obstacle. That's why it's so dangerous to deal with an obstacle in private, because it's too easy to quit. But when you're dealing with it in public and it's out in front of everyone, you will be amazed at the people that will rally behind you and say, "Get up that pole, get over that obstacle, overcome, do not quit." And let me tell you one other thing. Today, you have an extraordinary opportunity. You have the opportunity to do to someone else what this guy did to me. He changed my life by simply being an encourager along the way. Find someone today who is facing an obstacle and encourage them to overcome that obstacle. You'll be amazed at how it can change their life, but even more, you'll be amazed at how it can change your life. And so I want to encourage you today. Whatever obstacles you're facing, whether it's in your past, in your present, or in your future, focus on your attitude and overcome. Overcome. Become better. Face those obstacles as opportunities. and face those future obstacles as dreams to become more. You can overcome those obstacles. Get over them. Keep climbing. Don't quit. And find someone else today that you can encourage. You'll be amazed how it can change your life to encourage other people. Until next week, I'm Warren Martin, and this is Mo Monday. And hey, let's get back into the game of life, and let's overcome those obstacles